Hi, so for this video I'm going to talk about the Bride of Christ. Now this video is actually a video that I made in 2017, but YouTube like to do their absolute best to try and prevent me from spreading the message and spreading the truth by putting copyright all over my videos. Okay, true, I am using songs to prove my evidence, but basically I inspire all songs and all films. I am Christ, I am the Bride of Christ, and this marriage that I'm in is a really bad marriage with me and the world, where the world is an absolute dick and they are the Father, they are the Son, and they are basically blasphemers because they like to believe how they are Christ, how, you know, the Father is God, when really they are just actually rejecting the true God, who is a woman, who is the bride. She's Israel, Jerusalem. Basically it's all me, and I'm kind of going through my videos to try and prove what it is. But it's really annoying though, because the copyright that I got that prevented me from making this video public for the last few years is actually on a song that is sung by Aaliyah, and I was Aaliyah in my past life. So yeah, this is really annoying how you've blocked me for using my own song, and I think it's only just a small section, but you know what, I'll take that song out, and yeah, I'll just continue promoting this.
For this video, I'm going to tell a story about the Bride of Christ. The story of the Bride of Christ is a story about a woman named Jerusalem, or Israel, Zion. Well, she has many names: Eve, Babylon, mother of all sinners.
So basically the Bride of Christ is me.
But I don't want to go into too much detail for now, because it would just complicate the story. So I'm going to focus on the Bride of Christ just for now. The Bible is a whole book of fantasy stories all about her, that prophesy about her future coming, and the things that she's gone through in the past. This is the woman who came to Earth at the beginning of the timeline, when on Earth she meets Satan, the future father of the human race. He is not like her. They are both born from semi-evolved monkeys, but she is far more human than he is. Her soul is far older than his is. Her soul is from another world, and in her blood lies the key to the human race. It's the key that will cause humans to become far more intelligent than they were in the past. But Satan's soul is just that of an earthling, with all the animalistic traits, and he rapes her, leaving her pregnant. But this is not just any old pregnancy, for this woman is in fact the true God. Not a God of lies like the Father, but rather a true God, a God that only has the power to inspire books, songs and films.
You open my eyes. I should have worshipped her sooner. If the heavens ever did speak, she's the last true mouthpiece. Wake me up! Wake me up inside! I can't wake up! Wake me up inside! Call my name and save me from the dark. Wake me up!
Books such as the Bible, not written by God, but just inspired by God. For the Bible clearly states that God is the first and last, and this woman was the first. The true God who the whole world has rejected and hates.
Do you have to make me feel like there's nothing left of me? You can take everything I have. You can break everything I am.
The true God who physically made Adam by birthing him. For God made man first. Only females can make sons. So therefore this birth is not just a normal pregnancy. It's the birth of the one and only begotten Son of God. For God so loved the world that she gave her one and only Son into the world, so that it might be saved through him and his blood, the blood of the only begotten Son of God.
I'm sorry that we the two seem to be confused.
People believe that Jesus is God, Jesus is the Son of God. No, he's not, you're confused. Jesus was just a recreational story about what happened to Adam and Eve. Eve, of course, being God, and Eve's son being the real Son of God.
He belongs to me.
This, of course, though, happened thousands of years before people had the ability to write stories and document things. So people didn't know what happened to Adam and Eve, and people wouldn't have believed in Adam and Eve because they would have said that there's not enough evidence. So God had to create a fake Christ, a fake son, and reenact what Adam and Eve did so that people would have something to believe in. But in reality, Jesus is actually the Antichrist. Jesus lie equals 666. He is the real Antichrist. He is the deceiver who comes with lies and false promises, because his promise is all about how he can get people to heaven and paradise, and reality is, if you want heaven, you have to make it. You can't just expect God to do everything for you.
It was through this special blood that humans evolved far quicker than they would have done. This is how the human race was formed, through the blood of God and her Son. This mortal God would have lived a terrible life. But inside the human psyche, people seek after the truth. They seek after the God, their creator. It's for this reason things like the Bible have been inspired. Psychically, people can connect to this woman, and they know that God and the Son of God are going to return back to earth. Hence why they start prophesying it in stories. For it says the Son of God sits on the right hand of God, hence proving that there's definitely two of them. But the humans in the past only worshipped males. They couldn't imagine God being a female, and they certainly weren't going to write it in their books. So God had to work around this and inspire the writers of the Bible books to talk about the bride of Christ, only make out that they're talking about a city or a nation of people, because only then can they talk about the return of the true Christ, and only then can the public accept this news. For one of the prophecies in the Bible is that the bride of Christ will receive her crown and receive glory. She will marry the Son of God and be glorified. If people thought that this was them, they would love the Bible, they would worship the Bible. But if they knew the truth, that actually this woman is the true God, whom everyone has rejected,
And the father is actually just world leaders who are assholes and who don't give a shit about God or who she is or want to help her, if they knew that she's actually just in a really bad marriage and she shouldn't be in this marriage, because the father is not a nice group of people. It's a horrible group of people who are rejecting her and refusing to help her because they're too busy loving the power that they get without God. For without this God, everyone thinks that the father is God, hence they always give their power and control to the male leaders and the male rulers who want to dominate and just control others. And of course this woman doesn't really care if the males dominate. Why? Because they're just screwing up this planet, and well, the sooner you screw it up, the sooner it can blow up, and the sooner she can get free of this planet. Because God is more of a prisoner here, and she hates being here, and she just wants to go back home, and she does not want to take humans with her. Humans belong on Earth because they're like animals. If people knew the truth, they wouldn't like the truth. Nor would they like God. But giving your power to the Father isn't actually helping things, because you are just blinding yourself and you're blinding the world from the truth. And you're making God hate you even more than she already does.
but at the same time, when this woman returns, she'll expose the truth.
What you do, the things you do, you keep on acting like a fool. You need to know it's me, not you. And if you didn't know it, girl, it's true.
And all will mourn, for that is what it says. But all will mourn at the return of Christ.
I know it's killing you inside. You can say what you wanna say, what we have you can't say. From the truth you can't escape. I can tell the real from the fake. When will you get the picture?
So this is why the bride of Christ is such an important key figure in prophecy, because it's actually about the true God who has been rejected. But it's also part of the promise. The Bible says that the New Jerusalem will come down like a bride adorned for her husband. This deception that the bride is the church is what encourages people to be Christian in the first place, because they could be this bride, and they could get the things that are actually hers. But every story has two sides to it. For if the bride can be a church, then the reference of a church could also be referring to the bride, a woman, not a group of people. And when this bride comes preaching her side of the story, she'll use the Bible as evidence, because the Bible clearly states that a biblical marriage is between one man and one woman, not Jesus and a nation of people. The marriage is a key part of the Bible. Why? Because it points to a man and a woman, and it debunks the writer's belief. For the Bible is not written by God, it's only inspired by God. But she hasn't just inspired the parts about the marriage, the parts about the bride of Christ. No, she's inspired all female characters in the Bible, including Jesus. For Jesus was the main character that people wanted to accept, but they could only accept him if he were a man. For the story of Jesus is a prophecy of what's going to happen to this woman when she comes back. The bride is not going to live a nice, happy life. No, she's going to be persecuted, rejected. She's going to be sacrificed and physically born again on the third day. God's inspired the characters like the bride of Christ in the Bible so that when she comes, she can say that no, actually, not about the Son of God getting married to millions of people, but rather the Son of God marrying the true God, who is a woman.
This woman is me. I've known about this for 10 years now. I have no idea why I can't get anyone to believe in my religion. I don't know why I can't get anyone to care or to want to help or want to promote me. I don't know why everyone is ignoring me. None of this makes any sense to me, but I know it's happening, and it's been happening for a very long time. Now I am going to be very, very, very angry when the world finally does accept me. I am not going to help you in any way, because I will always remember how you never ever helped me. For 10 whole years, every single day, there was not one church, not one religious person, no one that I could go to who could help promote me as a god. Every single person who has ever clicked on any of my videos and decided just to switch off and not watch anything more, you are part of the reason why I'm in this trap, and I fucking hate you so bloody much. If the world died tomorrow, I would make sure that all your souls die and don't go anywhere, because none of you wanted me as a God. I will always remember that. I will never forget that. I'm not going to do anything nice or say anything nice to you, because I have nothing nice to say because of how you have rejected me. Now, I don't know why you needed to do this. I don't know why you're still doing it. I don't know why every single day I have to go another day with so much evidence, knowing that no one wants to help me and YouTube is only hiding me by blocking most of my videos. And I don't know why all of my videos only seem to have a couple of hits on them. I mean, there's billions of people all around the world claiming to look for Christ, and yet if I gave anyone evidence that I was Christ, no one would care one tiny bit about me as a Christ. My videos are all about proving how I'm Christ, and yet all that I seem to get from them is just blocks, copyright strikes, and shit. You know, who the fuck are putting copyright strikes on God's videos? You know, this is a horrible, horrible sacrifice that I'm going through every single day. I'm furious. And right now I just want to set up something that makes it more personal.
I believe the prophecies about Jesus are actually just prophecies about things that are going to happen to her.
I want to go onto a Big Brother show. I want to have people vote to have terrible things happen to me. Or I want people to film all the responses that people say that's against me, all the evidence that people think they have to try and prove how I'm not Christ. I want them to turn against me, and I want it filmed. And then I want to shame all those people that voted to have something terrible happen to me. That is what I want now. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, if you're in the film industry right now and you know about me, you only have two choices: to help set up some sort of worldwide event where everyone gets to partake in some sort of fake sacrifice that I'm going to go through, or I'm going to just turn my anger on the people who have decided to ignore me, whilst having the power and authority to be able to help me. You know, seriously, if you're putting Love Island on TV right now, if you're putting anything on TV right now and you know about me, why are you not putting me on TV? I'm the one who's supposed to be on TV telling people the world about what I know. If you know about me and you run a religious service, how can you stand up in your religious service and teach the shit that you're teaching when you know that Christ is on earth teaching something 100% different from what you are teaching? How can you do that whilst also knowing that I'm God? And if you don't know I'm God, why are you telling people that you know who God is? Why are you telling people that you know who Christ is when in reality you don't? You're just an arrogant fool, blinded to everything that's truth about God.
The main prophecy about Jesus is that a man will come, but then he'll die, but be raised up again on the third day. This is a prophecy that I believe has already happened in this age. Her name was Aaliyah Hugson. I believe that she died and has been reincarnated on the third day. I believe she's the true Christ, because if it's her who died, well, there's a reason why she died for the sins of the world. Because racism is one of the worst sins that exists in this age. Judging someone not by how they are, but what they look like. But this sin can be erased, providing someone dies and is reborn again, but this time into a different body, into a different race. She first came to the earth as Eve. She died. People started making up lies about her. So she comes back as Aaliyah Hugson to preach her side of the story. For Christ rises on the first fruits, which is the 16th day of the first month. Aaliyah was born this day. And the message that she preaches lies in her songs.
We have so much confusion. Am I supposed to change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be heard and who should be led? Am I supposed to change? Are you supposed to change?
By killing Aaliyah in a plane crash, but then raising her up again on the third day in a different country. So if this Christ is black in one life and white in the other, it can prove that actually it's what's inside that counts. And it can also prove that there is such thing as eternal life. You just need to die and come back again, and then die and come back again, and keep going around the cycle over and over again. But I don't just think that Christ has inspired Jesus and Mary. I think there's many other characters which this Christ figure has inspired. She's Israel, Jerusalem, Zion, the daughter Zion, Ariel, Aurora, Snow White. Every character you can possibly imagine that's female has been inspired by this woman.
I believe there's a group of guys, men mostly, because men are assholes and only men could do such a thing to someone. I'm not on their side 100%. I hope they die soon. It was one thing to ignore me for a couple of years, but this is 10 years. This is ridiculous. I 100% don't understand why you've done this, why you're still doing it, and I don't support you in any way, and I really hope I get to crush your soul soon, because that's the only thing you deserve for doing this to me. Clearly these people have no fear about what's going to happen to their soul after they die. I can only say good, because I will be terminating them.
For the prophecies say that she will reveal secret hidden knowledge, mysteries that have been hidden from the beginning of time. The Bible is supposed to be all about a marriage. There's also a lot of parts in the Bible that say that Israel will go through a lot of suffering. Israel is supposed to be the bride of Christ, who's also referred to as a church sometimes. The church, aka bride, is supposed to suffer for many years and then the groom returns to the bride.
This was a belief that I had for about 7 years, and then nothing happened. This guy who I thought was the groom didn't come back, he didn't return, he never tried to help me, and now I basically just want him dead. So I am not going to fulfill the prophecies in the Bible in regards to this bride getting married. I'm not going to be marrying nothing because they've left it too long, and I no longer have any desire to be with any human because of this. I believe there are things in the Bible that are not true, and the part about there being a real marriage at the end of the age between Christ and the people, that's not going to be happening now because I hate the people too much. I believe in 2013 a bunch of people found out that I was Christ. They started listening to the videos that I was making, they heard the things that I said, e.g. this video is something that I made in 2017. I spoke about the sacrifice and how a bunch of people would know about this woman and ignore her for a long time, but I was only saying that because I was thinking about the 3 years that people had ignored me, and I was trying to make an excuse for why they had ignored me for 3 years whilst knowing about me. People found out about me, they started making songs, films, just lots and lots and lots of things.
My friends and I, we've cracked the code. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy.
Bees in the trap. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. 100 motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I bees in the trap, bees in the trap. Sign of the course, cause this is her last supper.
I'ma be on the next level. I'ma be rocking over that bass treble. I'ma be chilling with my mother.
I'ma be. I said you're the one to write about in every single song, but you just shook your head and walked along. So come with me, oh come on Annalie. You can be much more than you believe, oh Annalie.
And I thought they were doing this because they were going to help me, and I was trying to find an excuse as to why they were ignoring me. So I made this video. But now it's 10 years. Clearly I feel very, very stupid for trying to make an excuse as to why people were ignoring me, because clearly you had no intention of ever helping me, and now I just really, really want you dead. And when the world goes through their tribulation, I want to give you the same kind of help that you gave me, which is to do nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, right now, I do think that the only reason why they're ignoring me is because they want to make money off making films and songs about me. I think they could make more money if they actually expose me as being Christ, because people might actually be more interested in watching their films to see how it relates to me and see the power of God's influence. So I don't understand why they're not exposing it, but maybe they think, oh, well, we'll wait a long time and there'll be more things that will get people interested. I don't know why they're ignoring me. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense, and they'll never be able to explain why it is that they've ignored me for this long, and I will never accept a reasonable answer as to why they've done this. All I know is that I really can't wait to kill and end their soul. I had a whole big list of songs that seem to have something that sounds like my name within it, and I know a lot of people know about me. This is not just done spiritually, this is done because people actually know about me, and I don't know why they're not actually helping me, they're just using me, and I really don't care any longer. You know, I really don't give a shit if Britney Spears has gone mad. I think she completely deserves it, and I hope she kills herself soon. Like, that is seriously how I feel about a lot of these singers. If you believe you've done something for a good cause, then fine, whatever, but you're going to have to live with it, because I don't want to know you, and I don't care about you, because I don't feel that you have cared about me. For the last 10 years, I've had to watch you do all the things that I wished I had have done, or I wish I was able to do, and I could have done it if only people would have given me the opportunities to do it, and no one has. So I don't understand why you've done this. All I know is that I'm very, very pissed off, and you cannot expect any type of friendship from me.
So basically they're going to write songs about this female Messiah, who they probably don't even think is a real Messiah. They're going to write songs about her, but then afterwards change the dates to make it look like they were writing songs about her before the occult knew who this person was. So that way, mysteriously, they seem to connect to her, even though a lot of the new songs that they've done are actually just lies.
When it comes to things that they've done against me, you know, a lot of them have done songs about me, and I know that they know about me. Why? Because I found out that I was Christ in 2013, and a huge amount of these songs that were made after this date have had their dates changed to make it look like they were written before this date, to make it look like they didn't know who I was. You know, there is no other reason why you would write a song in 2015 but then change the date on YouTube to make it look like it it was done before 2013. You know, if that song is about me, and if you change the date to make it look like you did it at a time where you didn't know me, you know, that would be the only reason why you would change the dates, hence why I know you know about me. When it comes to exposing the news, you know, I understand that if a song was written before 2013 and it's about me, you know, it makes me look more powerful, like it makes my spirit look like I've influenced more things than I have, hence why I might be willing to keep it quiet for a while and not tell people the truth about when these songs are actually done. Because any song that was done before 2013, you know, I know you didn't know about me. Why? Because I didn't know about me. If I don't know about me, then how could you possibly know about me? But if you've done a song that is about me, and I know you've done it about me whilst knowing about me, and then you've gone to change the dates to make it look like it was done before you knew about me, you know, that to me just feels like you've done something against me and you're trying to hide the evidence, hide the fact that you've done something against me. And I want people to know that you've been doing this and, you know, doing things about me and then changing the dates to try and make yourself look innocent. You know, I want people to know this, but at the end of the day, I also want people to think that I'm more powerful than I am. Hence why I don't mind lying at the beginning, or not lying, but just not saying anything about people changing the dates. But the truth is that I am more powerful than you can possibly know, because all the singers actually represent an angel that represents a different thing, and all their songs actually represent the name of that angel. Hence, if a singer is singing and it sounds like it's a message from me, really it's actually a message from what the angel represents, but I didn't reveal what the angel represents until 2022. I don't even want to call them angels because I'm so pissed off with them, but whatever. They're actually holy angels because holy means evil, and they're basically evil angels. There are some newer ones that I don't think are writing songs about me. I'm not as angry with them because they're not actually writing songs about me. They're just doing whatever they feel is best. But yeah, there are a lot of people who know about me. I just don't know who knows. And I don't know why they're ignoring me, because I would so much rather them expose me as a Christ 7 years ago, for the world to have to experience what I went through, which is believing that they're on my side, and then revealing the true name of what they actually represent, and then, you know, expose this news to the world after they've believed something. You know, I want to show the world my power, but how can I do that if the world doesn't know about me? It doesn't make sense why the world doesn't know about me. I think I would have had so much more power if you would have exposed me as being the Lord and the Christ, and then afterwards I reveal truth and stuff, but that can't happen now, because now people are just going to think that humans have set this whole thing up and not me. But whatever, you know, I believe there's good and bad in everything, and if people don't believe that I'm God, I think that's a really good thing. Why? Because I will just have more reason to not give one shit about them. They should have been part of this, so I don't understand why they're not part of this growth and this change that I'm going through. You know, things need to come out in stages, and I don't understand why I've had to go through all these stages and still no one's helping me. Why is no one exposing me? Why is no one telling the world that Christ is here? I don't understand why everyone is just blocking me off in this way. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It didn't have to be like this. And because it's like this, I now have no desire to help anyone on earth. I really look forward to the day that I leave this world behind and have nothing more to do with any of you. These stages should have been revealed whilst the world knew that I was Christ, whilst the world was waiting to see what happens next. And it's not going to happen now because I've revealed it all, so I don't know why you waited this long. When it comes to the angels, I don't think they're always talking about me, even though it sounds like they are. For example, the angel of romance, you know, when she's talking about me, she's not talking about me, Anna, or me as in herself. She's actually talking about romance. The angel of choice sings about having choices, and me in her songs represents choices. Hence there's hidden messages. But I don't understand why I couldn't reveal these names after I was exposed as a god. Why have you not exposed me as a god? I don't understand. My view is that people just see me as a stupid, dumb little blonde who can't do anything for herself. I don't know why you've done this, and I really, really hate all of you. If I expose myself as a god now and reveal all these names, people are just going to think that these names were revealed 13 years ago and that you just set this whole thing up. So the power that I have now is far less than what it would have been if you would have actually helped me 7 years ago or 10 years ago. But then there's a darker side, because all the angels actually represent two things. On one hand, they can represent something good, but I think realistically they actually represent something bad. So Ariana is the angel of beauty, but really I think she actually represents vanity and selfishness. And so that's now how I'm going to have to punish people, by saying their good name and then later revealing their nastier name, if they have a nastier name. Some of them don't have a nastier name. Like, I don't think the angel of choice or the angel of romance or the angel of God's war really have a nastier name. Why? Because I don't feel like they've hurt me, because I don't know, something in my head has just told me not to listen to their songs, and that's what I've done. Hence why I don't feel any anger towards them. Although I do know that the angel of God's war does actually have
a nicer name, but that's only to hide the truth about how I actually feel towards people. So her nicer name would be the Angel of the New Age. But yeah, if you think about it, if you really want her songs to be the New Age, then there's something wrong with you. And the only thing that I hope is that the tribulation lasts far longer than 7 years. I actually hope my war lasts for 1,000 years, because that's how angry I am. Seriously. I'm not joking. I don't believe that any of you really know how angry I am. I didn't want it to be this way. I wanted to just, have a nice life as a God, as a Christ, meet my people and be like, hey, wow, okay, wow, most of you haven't been looking for me, but okay, some of you have been doing that, but now I can't say that about anyone, because no one has helped me here. It's true that I do like the Angel of God's War, but I feel like there's enough evidence in her songs to suggest that she knows about me. If she knows about me, why hasn't she gone public about me? I don't understand that. And therefore even people that I like are people who I now don't like, because I don't understand why no one is thinking, wait, God's here, let's expose her. Let's tell the world that Christ is here. Let's help ascend her. Why has no one done this? Waiting doesn't make any sense to me, because you've been waiting 10 years. There's no evidence, nothing in the Bible that says you should do that for 10 years. I had fulfilled all the prophecies about God's suffering within the first year or two. So why have you ignored me for 10 years? I just don't understand why. The only thing that makes sense to me is that you don't think that I'm good enough.